quick synopsis, what's the main message that we should take away, I guess, or one would take away from Infinite Possibilities?
Well, the main message from Infinite Possibility is that because we've shifted into an experience economy, and companies now need to stage experiences for the customers in order to create greater economic value, we need to pay attention to how digital technology can enable that, can enhance it, and because there's this explosion of digital technology out there where consumers are carrying around on their smartphones, more technology that was available in the world, 50 years ago. And so how do we go out to the digital frontier? How do we find new ways of engaging our customers and creating value for them using that technology?
Fantastic. And in terms of how does that relate with the physical? So that, obviously we're kind of a lot more, comfortable in the physical. How do we shift from the kind of physical reality into this kind of virtual?
Right. Well, that shift is going on. I mean, there is this basic migration from reality to virtuality, from spending more of our time in the real world, the physical places that we inhabit, to spending it in virtual worlds that we enter basically with our mind through some screen of some sort. So we are doing more of our time there, so companies have to meet us there and figure out what it is that we're looking for and how we're using that technology and how they can actually use it to create places, to create things that have never before been envisioned, engendered, nor encountered.
And what would you say the kind of main barriers to achieving this for many companies?
Yeah, well, I just did a 2-day workshop in the Netherlands, and one of the person pointed out, I've got all these ideas, but the technology isn't there yet. Wasn't quite able to do it. Well, there's an old saying in the IT field that if it's not available now, wait 5 years, and it will be. If you can think of it, by 5 years it will be available. So it's important to experiment now. It's important to explore out there and try different things. And you may not get it exactly right. You may not have all the elements it takes, but then as the technological curve comes down, that you will be able to apply new technology to it to get the value that you're seeking out of it.
Awesome. Can you tell me just a couple of examples of who's currently doing it well?
Well, there are many examples of that. There's a lot of large companies that are doing it, from companies like Cisco that are providing the pipes into to the internet, to companies like IBM that are helping other companies apply the digital technology to their business, to new platforms. And one of the interesting things is there are entire new platforms. Think about what used to be called Wintel, Windows and Intel as a platform. Well, now the whole touch interface that Apple has created and innovated is a new platform to be able to experience things that were never before possible, using techniques for doing so that we could not even imagine a few years ago. There are other platforms coming out, like Layer in the Netherlands, as a company that provides a platform for augmented reality, where basically you can use your smartphone and turn on the camera, and now as you pan around into the world, you can see layers of things that do not actually exist. You can choose a restaurant layer to find a restaurant for lunch, an apartment layer to look for one for rent, even where your friends are and so forth. Even play digital games out in the real world using technology like that, and that's a platform for doing so.
And as you say, infinite possibilities. When you're faced with these new platforms, there's so many different things that one can do to enhance the experience of a company or a brand. What I'd like to do is just think about how these emerging technologies might actually help the workplace, and experience that I guess internal customers might have of a business or a brand. What would you advise or suggest that we might be looking at internally? Yeah,
well, first of all, I think it's very important to recognize that if we want our people to create great experiences for our customers, whether in the real world or the virtual world, if we want that to happen, we've got to create a great experience for them. They've got to have the wherewithal to be able to do that. And so creating that great experience for internal customers, as you say, for the people that work for us is number one, very important. One way that companies are increasingly doing it, it goes by the awkward rubric gamification. I don't know if you've heard of that, but gamification is basically using game techniques to be able to enhance our lives, our learning, and our work. that if we treat our work as a game, where we can succeed, we can go on missions, we can level up, we can do all these things that you can do with games. So it's going to make it much more engaging. The work then becomes engaging. It isn't a chore, and therefore we're going to be more engaged with it and do a better job at it.
Fantastic. I love that. Just kind of a parting thought. What would you suggest it would be the kind of first step for somebody who's kind of embarking on this? Where do people start?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I think the best step is to start with the model that we put in Infinite Possibility, because it is a sense-making tool. It's not an easy model. It's a complex one, which actually makes it more likely that your competitors aren't going to internalize it. But if you can use this model, it allows you to make sense of what's going on in the world, categorize all the different things that you see, and therefore describe what's going on, and then prescribe what you can do about it. There's a set of principles in there that allow you to methodically go through and figure out what are all the possibilities. And I love the idea of applying that as much to your own workforce as to your customers out there. See what you can do. There will always be new examples out there. You always have to have your ear to the ground, your eye to the screen to see what's going on. But then when new things happen, you've got a tool that allows you to make sense of it and see, again, how you might take advantage of that similar sort of thing.
So could you give me maybe an example of where you've seen this kind of technique used internally?
Well, my old employer, IBM, actually now hires people that have great experience in World of Warcraft, and other virtual worlds like that, because the skills that you need to be able to see out into the future, to look at the possibilities, to collaborate with people, to bring together a group of people to accomplish a mission, translate directly in what it takes to be a leader in a fast-moving company like IBM. So we're going to see more and more of that going on, that having all this video game experience, as kids and that sort of thing, is no longer going to be a liability, as our parents and teachers might have taught us, but in fact is a great capability that we have to be able to act in this new world.
Fantastic.